All right, guys, let's do this thing.
I can't think of one damn thing to say. Stuck where I'm going. Stuck in a lot of ways. Tell me it still matters in a world in vain. Pissing in the wind. Screaming about the same old things. Time stands still every now and then it's gone. Wondering what you did. Wondering what you did all wrong. Hindsight's 20/20 when you're looking back. Looking out ahead, all I see is black.
Chew on that shit for a while.
Boom.
Hey, would you guys move the damn Voodoo Ranger from the center of the damn camera?
What?
Jeez Louise.
What?
This is starting horrible. All right. Shop pay installments. That's right. Integration. It is in the law-abiding biker store. You asked for it. We brought it. That is right. A lot of online stores are doing it, and we are now added to that group of online stores for your guys' convenience. You now have the option to buy products right now, knowing that you can pay in 4 equal payments, interest-free. So you're going on a trip, you need something, don't quite have the cash, or you know you're going to have the cash. You can certainly, or you want to get over the free shipping hurdle within our store, which is $75 or more right now. Buy what you need and have the satisfaction and the comfort that you can make 4 equal payments interest-free to get what you need. All right, there you go. Brought to you guys. Want to ride longer? Tired of a sore and achy ass rust?
Yeah.
Then fix it with a high-quality butt buffer seat cushion. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Check out our full line of butt buffer seat cushions. Got us a voicemail.
Hi, this is Greg Tremaine. I just looking at your videos for the very first time. I'm in Sacramento, California. I'll be 65 this year. Been riding all my life. And I sure would enjoy doing a ride with you guys. I planned a trip to Valmont, British Columbia this year, but I guess the COVID thing put a stop to that. Anyway, I'm really enjoying your videos. Take care, and hope to hook up with you guys for a long ride one of these days. Thank you very much. I just subscribed to your emails and stuff. All right, thank you.
No, thank you very much for leaving that voicemail. We have the platform here in 2021. As you can see, we're trying to ramp it up. We want to hear from more bikers out there in the community, even if it's a quick voicemail like that or a quick thanks or a question or something you have. We want to hear from you guys. We make it super simple for you. Lurch, take 2. Where can they go?
We'll see what?
lawabidingbiker.com/contact is how you do that. Lurch.
Why do you do that when I'm doing something else? You can literally see me looking at the computer and typing.
I'm looking at the monitor.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought you did that to me on purpose.
No, I actually didn't.
Lawabidingbiker.
Makes it funny.
.com/store.
No, contact. Jesus Christ.
Oh, that's what you have up there is store.
Oh, my God.
I'm trying to make some sales here, son.
Oh, well, that's fine, dude.
/contact.
Yeah, /
It's easy peasy, man. All these computers these days have microphones and speakers, and you can just click on that button, leave us a voicemail, and we'll do the same and shoot you one right back.
Very nice. We do respond to you, and then a lot of them we use on the podcast here. So thank you very much for that voicemail. Please, guys, get involved with the community. Let us hear your voices. We love emails, but we love the voicemail feedback. Just adds another layer. So thank you. We try to put a lot of these just came in fact, and we're getting them out and aired right away. Hey, Bikeaholics, 03D has a wide variety of innovative products for your Harley-Davidson on a brand new line for the all-new Honda Gold Wing named Gold Strike. Top quality, affordable chrome lighting and comfort products. Zero Gold Strike are the motorcycle LED lighting innovators for CAN bus plug-and-play system compatibility. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Check out our full line of Zero 3D products. Oh, yeah, once you've had Rick Rack, you'll never go back. The ultimate motorcycle luggage rack solution. Forget those messy straps and bungee cords. Go strapless with a Rick Rack quick attach luggage system and quality bag. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Get hooked up now.
Rick.
Nice.
Might be better than the last one. It
Done.
That was a little better.
was a little better.
Way to get it going.
Started strong, finish was a little off the mark. But
That's what she said.
I like the
That's what she
Rick.
said. Oh, starting it out strong here. Ridiculousness. Well, welcome back, you freaking bikeaholics. This is the podcast for the motorcycle majority, the Big MM, also known as the
99%.
large and in charge of the motorcycle scene more than any time in history. I guarantee it by being here, by listening, by watching. Whether you like it or not, and I know you like it, you're part of what we call
The Biker Revolution.
very nice, very nice. With that said, we do have just one question for you before we get started. What are you waiting for, bikeaholics?
Mount up and let us take you on a wild ass ride.
There you go. Ryan Erlacher here, your host of the Law Abiding Biker podcast. And of course, your...
High tech redneck.
That was so uneventful, but nicely played. Yeah. Nicely played.
I was trying to go the opposite of what Russell was doing. He was bringing back the the tractor pull Sunday. So
Sunday,
I just wanted to take it 180 degrees there.
It's very
Good job.
nice, dude.
Thank you. That's what I do.
There we go. The man, the myth, the legend.
Oh my God. Haven't heard that one in a long time.
Russell Roberts, patron member in the house.
Oh yeah. Made it around.
For episode number 2. Now we're coming off the heels of a live event, live video broadcast and chat. And this is our episode following that because we batch process them so we can make sure we get them out on time to you guys throughout the year. And so thank you, Russell, for being here for another episode. Russell, of course, longtime supporting patron member, goes way back to the very beginning of Law Abiding Biker Media for the most part.
Pretty much.
And professional truck driver. I've done episodes with him. He's been on past episodes. He's in the area driving truck. And so he reached out. And of course, I jumped at the chance to get him back in the studio on a mic. He's been here all day filming with us. We filmed a bunch of video projects, of course, that will hit the YouTube channel in their own turn and time. We did a live today. In fact, last episode, that's one thing I forgot to mention is our last free or some of our newest free videos, but I mentioned the one we did today.
You did.
I forgot it in the notes, so I'm going to try to do it here. Anyways,
We put his ass to work too. Quite often I'm doing a lot of the hand modeling and you're doing a lot of the camera, or we set up the camera on a tripod because I'm not allowed to touch any of the settings. He's trying to teach me, but I basically turn it on, turn it off for him, and it's pretty static.
Right.
But we had a professional photographer in the house today, so I got to sit back. Yeah, that's true. We did fire him, but I got
fired.
I got to sit back and watch an artiste at work, one on each end of the camera, and I got to just chill out and throw shit at Ryan and make sure he said everything he's supposed to say.
Yep,
true.
You were the producer.
There you go.
Pretty much. Yeah. Who's ringing?
My daughter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hang tight. Let me just make sure.
Yeah, make sure there's nothing important going on.
Yeah.
This is live. This is the live
We going to be able to hear it?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just going to, let me text her.
Okay.
I'm just going to say, is it an emergency? Because she might not think we're still going.
And which daughter is this?
My oldest.
The oldest.
She knew.
She must know.
No, she probably doesn't think we're still going since it's so late. She probably thinks dinner ended like 2 hours ago.
Right.
So yeah, she's probably thinking.
That could be, yeah.
Anyways, where were we?
Oh, we forgot to mention earlier that.
Him filming. Yeah.
No, I was just going to mention that Russell Roberts is a lord. We just learned that. We just learned that today.
I'm not.
He owns a square foot of property in Scotland.
Don't own
And
it.
if you own property in Scotland, you are a lord or a lady. And in this case, he's not a lady.
Just because I bought a bottle of Lafroig and sent in my little certificate and they gave me a square foot.
Dude, I'm standing up for the people that can see. Hang on. We got to do the proper for the Lord. The Lord is in the house.
Oh my God. What are you going to do? Oh, geez.
Oh, very nice. So from now
You
on,
didn't see it. I don't even know how to. You got.
That was
if you're not
kind
a
of-
Patreon member, you're never going to see what I just did.
I don't know if that was a curtsy or some kind of bow.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It was
what
a
to make of
royal,
that.
regal bow.
That's with
Royal
attitude.
bow?
What? Wait.
I don't even know what, is that what they do? I don't even know what they do. Because that's what I'm doing. Because you got the Lord in the house.
So until the end of this podcast, please refer to my friend to my right as Lord Roberts.
Oh,
Lord Roberts. Lord Roberts. Can I just call him Lord?
I want to know if he's one of the Lords
Do
leaping.
I have to do the Roberts? Can I just go, Lord, what do you think about that?
You know, the 12 days of Christmas or
Yeah.
12. Yeah. Is he one of the Lords of leaping?
What?
You could be, you've heard, in a partridge in a pear tree, that whole song.
Yeah.
I don't know how many there's, 4 or 5 or 6. I don't know how many Lords there are leaping, but you could be one of the Lords of leaping.
Man, we're getting
7?
out of-
I think it's 7. 7 Lords of leaping.
I don't remember
He could be
that.
one of those.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he could.
This is really
Can I just call him Lord?
going way out of bounds here.
He shouldn't have said anything before the podcast.
I should have never
I'm like,
mentioned it.
I'm like, that's coming up once we start podcasting.
I heard you guys talking about. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a little tidbit
And
of information.
how weird that I just heard that a couple weeks ago, that if you had and I didn't know if it was Lefroy or one of the other Scottish scotches, but I knew that you could buy a square foot in Scotland, and if you did, then you're a landowner and therefore a lord. Not the Lord, not Jesus Christ, obviously, but a Lord.
Yeah.
As in lords and ladies.
No, there's no title of Lord.
There's from now on.
There is in this studio,
That's
Russell.
right. Lord Roberts.
This is crazy.
There is tonight.
Sorry,
there
Your
is
Highness.
tonight.
Oh my God.
His Highness.
Now,
What? No, lords are not highnesses.
Okay, you're right. I'm wrong.
No, I prefer Lord.
Yeah, Lord is not that
They're
type
not
of title.
They're not magistry.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they're just landowners,
I can't even
right?
say it right. Right. No, they're
They're not
just
royalty.
No, the king gives them the lordships. The king's family is majesty.
There you go.
So
Thank you, Lord.
That's what Wikipedia says.
I have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. I'm not English.
I don't either. I'm pretty sure we should probably just start this
we
whole
should
show over.
go.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not necessarily a Scottish thing. That's a English thing that came over when the English took over Scotland. Eh?
Hey, no, that's Canadian there.
Oi.
Well,
No.
they're
Yeah. No, I didn't mean to say that. Hey, John Lister could explain it all to us, but because he's done that to me before, and it goes in one ear and out the other. Even though I'm fascinated with it, but I don't retain it. And
John Lister also said, I've heard that you can put a drip of water in your whiskey. I heard some conversation.
A drop.
What's the difference between a drip and a drop?
well, a drip means something that continuously happens.
Actually, a drip is a venereal disease.
Oh, that's
It's
true.
I think it's an unplanned drop. A drip's an unplanned
anyway,
drop.
yeah.
A drop you do on purpose. A drip just happens.
A drip.
Again, we're going to start this
a drip's
episode
an
over.
unexpected drop. But it's amazing. Just in all seriousness,
No, I got to hear
when
about it
you-
because I heard you guys talking about this while we
when
were
you
taking
have a really
leak.
good scotch or really good whiskey, the high end stuff, you can drink it neat. It's really smooth.
Yeah.
But if you want to change the flavor profile, a drop of water does an amazing thing to
It really does. I
open
couldn't
up the
believe it.
taste. And some
Yeah.
people put 1 drop, 2 drops. I mean, they literally have a little dropper, and you put a
Right,
drop in,
right.
you take a sip, put another drop in, take another sip, and you just kind of get it to where you
where
want.
you
And
want it.
people do know how many drops of water they want in their
In whatever they're drinking.
scotch
Yeah.
or their
Yeah,
whiskey
they
or
do.
their bourbon.
But John Patton and John Listers, they taught me that
What
while
if
I was up in Alberta.
They are some refined gentlemen,
They are.
so I'm not surprised.
They are.
patron
They are.
members, by the way, beloved patron members,
Awesome guys.
what if Russell,
His Lordship.
I apologize, what if the Lord,
Not the Lord. Lord Roberts. Just Lord Roberts.
Yeah, you do need to distinguish that because I am not the Lord.
I just want to make sure. I don't know what
I
you're
don't even know why I'm even going along with this bullshit.
I don't
but
know.
anyway.
I don't know what you're. I mean, I don't know. I'm just calling you the Lord, Lord Roberts.
Lord Roberts.
What?
Lord Roberts.
What if Lord Roberts?
Yes.
Jesus.
No, not Jesus. We already discussed that. We already discussed that. There's a difference between the Lord and Lord Roberts.
Oh, my. Come on out with it, Ryan. Get it done.
Oh,
I love it. He's uncomfortable. This is great.
What if Lord? No, when I get laughing. What if this is a serious question? So just stop your laughing and chuckling.
I'll try.
What if Lord Roberts put a drip of White Claw in his whiskey?
He would lose his lordship.
Yeah, I
He
would
never
never
be fired as Lord. Could you get fired as a Lord?
I'll figure out a way. It's bad enough that he drinks White Claw at all. But to put a drip or a drop of White Claw into a fine Scotch or whiskey,
There's
or
no
bourbon,
way I would ever do that.
No
way.
But
we would revoke his lordship card and send him packing.
Lord Roberts,
All credibility
fired.
would be gone.
You're fired as a Lord.
Oh man,
We say that because Lord Roberts today drank a White Claw out of my fridge. Now, I have no problem telling you, I like a refreshing White Claw now and then in between my beers, especially when I'm getting a little bloated. And I've made a lot of people feel comfortable. There was some White Claw closet drinkers like Big Daddy Kane here at LAB. I just want to say this publicly.
I heard this. Yeah,
There was some closet White Claw drinkers. And I just want to say that I'm happy that I was able to enable them when I came out of the closet. I actually was never in the closet. I just got a couple White Claws and drank them in front of Lurch, told him to take a picture of me and put it in the Facebook group. And he did. And I got a lot of hacking for it in the private Facebook group. And I expected it, and it's fun. But now a lot of the White Claw drinkers came out of the closet.
All three of them?
Lord Roberts came out of the closet.
Yeah, he's one of the three.
But
Lord Roberts counts as more than one.
Well,
Lord Roberts
he's
is a big
one
deal.
and two, and then Rick's the other third.
He's like, why did I ask to come over when I was in town? I could be in my peaceful sleeper.
Not being picked on.
Not being picked on.
between the fucking hair and you guys calling me Lord, it's like, well, Jesus, man, I should have just kept trucking
not
on
Jesus.
down.
We've already been through that.
Oh, yeah.
Your lordship, I apologize, but it's because we love you that we tease you.
It is. We do have some content today.
Appreciate you guys.
Not going to lie to you. We actually have some useful motorcycle content, I think.
We do, don't we?
Indian versus Harley-Davidson. Am I switching? Now, let's do this real quick. That's going to be our main topic.
Why would you be considering that?
Well, we'll get to that.
Oh, yeah. That's the hook. That's the hook. So I do want to announce a new free video. We're putting them out all the time on the YouTube channel. And that is, oh, no, this is a new free article I did. I'm also putting out, if it's something simple or it seems smarter to put it in writing, we'll pump out some articles. Big Daddy Kane's pumping out some articles now. Brad Johnston. We've got some contributors that are pumping out articles on the website. I'm trying to post those in the Facebook groups and stuff so you know when those come out. You can go over to the website anytime. This is an article I did because I needed to get the information out real quick. It wasn't worthy of a full video, and it is how to reset your oil change service mileage on a Harley-Davidson Boombox GTS infotainment system. So if you're following Law Abiding Biker Media, you bought our service videos, you're doing your own service. I also put it in that video now as a PDF file, but it gives you instructions on how to reset that. So you all know the new GTS, you know, it tells you like the cars now, hey, it's time for service. Instead of just clocking your every 5,000 like I do, right? It tells you, well, after you do an oil change, you do need to reset that. And I added a PDF for if you purchase our oil change service video for the Milwaukee 8 and newer and all that, or with the GTS, I show you how to reset that and get it so that it just pops up on your screen next time it is time to do that. You can only reset mileage on the Boombox GTS, which came on 2019 and newer models. The older Boombox systems and 6.5 GTs and all that, there is not that capability. So you will be in the school with me that just does it old school, and I just watch every 5,000 miles and then I do it. So there you go.
I'd like to congratulate you on your top Google rankings.
Oh, tell me about
this. I put GTS oil change reset, and guess whose information is number one?
Nice. But did you do it in an incognito window?
Oh, that's true. Fair enough.
Because it's going to,
yeah, you're right. You taught me that.
Yep. Do it. See what I didn't even do a lot of SEO on that, so I doubt it will come up, but maybe do an incognito window and search that and see what happens.
Wait a minute, what?
An incognito window. So what happens is
I'm aware of it.
So
I'm aware of that.
incognito.
But what difference does the search make?
So basically,
search history and everything.
So So basically, what happens is, if Lurch searches, he's signed into his Google account.
Right.
He's always watching Law Abiding Biker Media stuff.
You still got it.
Nice. So if
So
if he searches,
it's using that.
Yeah. So Google's watching what you're doing, right? Right. Well, it is, but it's using a lot more than that. Google's trying to tailor to you, right? So if it knows that you like law-abiding biker stuff and you type in something motorcycle related, the first results you're getting are going to be in Law-Abiding Biker Media because you frequent that website.
That makes sense.
So if you really want true Google results to see where you're at, then you go in an incognito because it doesn't know who signed in.
It does.
Okay. Yeah. Little trick I taught Lurch a while ago. I go, it does come up first for us, but let's do incognito so we can see how it's coming up for everybody else.
Makes total sense.
So yeah.
Because incognito's using nothing. It's like a blank slate.
Exactly. Blank slate. Nobody signed in. Don't know what your history is. But we're still coming up number one, huh?
Yeah.
Nice.
Ain't that awesome?
Well done.
Not just on the first page.
Right. Yeah. Number one. It's crazy. We've ranked number one for a lot of stuff over the years. It's cool.
It is.
And that's a helpful article, just a straight up helpful. I don't want anything for it. Just I found the information and wanted to put it out to the community. It's that simple. So, of course, we love our sponsors and all that kind of stuff and up front, but these folks are also sponsors of this episode and all our episodes. And the reason you're getting this high definition, crisp 1080p live stream and wonderful audio, some of our newest patron members.
These dudes are all top tier. So instead of saying top tier after each one of them, I'll just tell you that they're all top tier. Ben Staffy of Peoria, Arizona. Dennis Doyle of Hillsboro, Ohio, and Kevin Mead of Carlton, Texas.
And Dustin Cleary of Clayellum, that's up in your neighborhood, Clayellum, Washington. Mark Grote of Burleson, Texas, and Bruce Griffin of Mayo, Florida.
We got Mika Alinius. Oh my Lord, Mika Alinius of Hamalina, Finland. Wow!
Shout out Finland in the house.
Hope Mika, I hope I didn't destroy that too bad. Jeremy Thornsbury of Murrowhead, Kentucky, and Jim Peebles of Kingsland, Texas.
And we'll finish it off here with Justin Thasing of Fort Ripley, Minnesota, Barrett Collar of Watauga, Texas, and Michael Hennon of Buffalo, Minnesota. Lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. Pledge a certain amount, purpose of content. That's right. No risk to you because you can put a monthly cap. There are benefits such as t-shirts and stickers. You get into the troll free zone. It's the private Facebook group. Awesome community in there. Access to live video broadcasts and chat. And access to those premium videos up on request, podcasts early, and of course, access to those ride, meetup, and events like we're going to do in California here in the big 2021.
Not to mention the non-sanctioned.
Yes.
The members creating their own rides.
They are. A lot of other rides going in there. A lot of people hooking up and connecting. Good point. There's a lot of other rides and meetups going on that necessarily we won't be there, but they're community members that are organizing these wonderful get-togethers and rides in which Lord Roberts has partaken.
Oh my God.
His Lordship.
His Lordship.
Do you realize
has
how
partaken
many
in
friends I've made through the Patreon group?
Yeah, you have. I
have stayed at houses. I've stayed at people's places, and it's just, it's amazing. It's just truly great.
Which I don't think in the beginning we necessarily saw that or envisioned that. So it's so cool that it organically just happened. It makes sense now. But in the early days, we hadn't even considered that.
Couldn't even fathom that, I'm sure.
We were trying to create a community where people could talk and relate to motorcycle stuff and work on problems and share information. Didn't quite, at least I didn't, Ryan, envision the community that really came to be.
Yep.
And it really has. It has just opened up a lot of fellowship. It's the best way I can put it.
Yep. That is how the Lord would say something like that, fellowship.
Oh my God.
Not the Lord. We've discussed this already.
Yeah.
Lord, just Lord, not the. You can't put the in front of it. It's Lord, just Lord Roberts.
You got to stop this, guys.
We'll stop it tomorrow.
Right. But as soon as we're done recording, we'll stop. Oh my God. So, all jokes aside, there's not a lot of other private Facebook communities, probably that I know of, where you can meet the Lord.
I think a lot of these Facebook communities, people interact. They interact and they chat with each other. But this is a community where people actually link up, get to know each other, and hang with each other, and go to each other's houses.
Yeah,
and really get to know each other, which is the biker community. But it's not just online. It's evolved into people getting together, in person, riding together, doing group rides, getting to know each other, and hanging out. Oh, wow. I did that.
Nice producer extraordinaire.
I almost never banged the microphone, but I did it.
I was going to say, you're guilty now.
I'm guilty. I did that. And now that we're talking about it, I can't delete it. It has to stay in.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But really turned into something cool. An actual community, not just a virtual online community.
Yep. Nicely said.
Spot on.
Nicely said. So, of course, we'd like to have you be part of that, guys. So, with that said,
what are we going to talk about
quit
today?
Screwing around. Let me set this up. So I did a video. In fact, let's pull that little video up and I will pause it because we don't want to see it. Going on 84,000 views.
Good Lord. Oh, we don't want to hear it either.
Back in, when did I do that? Back in April.
That's it. And you're already up to 84K. Nice
and
work.
It's May now. So yeah. Worked hard on that video. Pumped it out in 2 days or 3 days, something like that.
Yeah, you were messing around on that.
Oh, God, I needed to get it out, you know. I knew it would do good. And a lot of people have asked me to do a review on it. And I finally got my hands on the Indian Challenger. And so I would encourage you to watch the video. I give a lot of insight in today's episode. That's basically what we're piggybacking off of, although I can give a little more insight. You can't do that on YouTube. If you get too long-winded and not succinct enough, doesn't capture people's attention. So I have to cut out a lot of stuff and keep it within certain time limits that I have to keep it popping and hopping. But this is a little bit more personal, the podcast, I feel, and people are invested to spend a little more time to where we can break these things down a little more. That's what I like about the podcast platform versus the YouTube.
You go a little bit more
long form. You have to do them different, long form.
Yeah.
Very good. People are vested.
I love podcasts.
Me too. You learn a lot more from people. Yeah. Personal, and I think you learn a lot more because people feel like they have the time to open up or be themselves like we just did. Screw around and be yourself a little more.
It takes time. When you restrict time, you don't open up. I mean, just look at some of the most popular, podcasts out there. Rogan, I mean,
his are routinely 3 hours long.
Yeah. And whenever you open up, even he has said so, it's like, 45-minute hour podcast, nobody's opened up yet, but you get into an hour and a half into it and then they open up.
They feel comfortable. They forget about the mic, especially for guests that aren't used to being on a mic,
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, very true. So we're going to break this down. And like I say, I encourage you to watch the video. It's very succinct, but it's got some cool shots and some different stuff we're going to talk about, going over the bike and seeing it and all that kind of stuff. So with that said, let's dive in. So I got my hands on this, and Lurch, you can jump anytime, or Russ, feel free. Right. I got my hands on this bad boy because Squirt is part of the Sworn Few Motorcycle Club, which many of us are affiliated with, part of. And he bought it, you'll see it in our Sturgis documentary. If you watch our Sturgis 2021 documentary, any of those documentary films you can get over at lawabidingbiker.com/ride-now. That one's still up for sale, I think $5.95. It's got nothing. I just checked the other day, nothing but 5-star reviews. So I put a lot of heart and soul into that. I think it's a fun documentary. Anyways, in that, you'll see him buy the Indian Challenger. Well, we got our hands on it. We're working on it. A handlebar video. We did handlebars on it, and we've got some things to tie up. We'll eventually have that video out on how to add aftermarket taller bars on your Indian Challenger. But while we had it, I was able to keep it for a little bit and actually ride it and test it. He was gracious enough for that. And that is the reason that I got my hands on the Indian Challenger and was able to bring this review video and this review podcast to you. So for all of you. So shout out to Squirt for allowing me to keep his beloved bike. And he had my Street Glide.
Yep.
He took my Street Glide home. So he had my Street Glide special up there for
cool.
a little while.
So he could still ride.
Yeah, exactly. That's how he got home.
Yeah.
Too.
Oh, okay.
Because our bar project took a little longer than we expected.
He had a birthday party to go to, and we thought
His surprise birthday.
His surprise, and we knew it. And I think he knew it too. He said, my girlfriend says I had to be back at 5. I think she's planning some type of party for me.
Yeah.
And so we were able to send him back with one of your bikes. But we've also discussed in the future of maybe once I've started working full time for Lab, is maybe I'll just grab a trailer and go up and grab these bikes and bring them down, so we don't have to rush through the job. But we were able to get our hands on it, and you had it for a couple of weeks, actually.
I did.
Right?
I did. I wasn't able to ride it the whole couple weeks because I had a bunch of other stuff going on, but I did what I could with it until I felt comfortable enough to give somewhat of an opinion and review.
So now, not just to jump on and ride it for a little bit. I mean, you actually spent some time riding this thing. Yeah,
I did. Yep. I would have liked to spend a lot more time. I would love to take a bike like that, in a perfect world and run it on a 6-day trip and then do my review video. But that's just not the way the world works. And I don't have that kind of time. Hopefully, eventually, when I retire from the paying full-time job, I'll be able to do stuff like that. Because then I would come back and really, but I gave the best review I could based on the time that I had to spend on it. And that's how a lot of reviewers do it anyways. Nobody has time to spend 2 weeks on these bikes on a cross-country trip before you review it. You know what I mean? So that's just the way it is. Now, let me talk about this. Now, we're going to loosely compare it, obviously, the Challenger to the Road Glide. One of the first things I mentioned, it is what it is. Harley's let me just start by this. Harley's the big dog. We all know that. And a lot of people get a little bit pissed off about this kind of stuff. Like they get very protective about it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Apple and Android or Chevy and Ford.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't get that way. But people got that way.
Victory's done it too.
Yeah, Victory, same thing. Yeah, exactly. People are, so to me, it doesn't matter. I like all bikes. I think you should choose the bike that works best for you. I don't get too caught up in at all in trash talking somebody for a certain model of bike, but people do. And we saw that. So a lot of people on this, we're comparing it to the Road Glide. It is a fact that Harley's the big dog, and they're chasing, right? They're chasing a little bit Indian, and that's cool. That's what you do. I mean, look at Android. They do a lot of the things that the iPhone does, right? You see it could try to design it like it a little bit, you know what I mean, and things like that. So that's okay. That's what you do. You go after the big dogs and you try to compete in that marketplace. And so when you come out with a shark nose fairing bike, sorry, I think it's fair to say it's emulating the Road Glide a little bit. They put their own style and spin and everything else aside from that. They're trying to take sales away from the Road Glide.
And even if you weren't necessarily trying to imitate it, it's going to be compared to it.
There you go.
Because it is the big dog. Mm-hmm. So if it looks like a Harley, people are going to obviously compare it to the Harley.
Yep. Good. Yeah. Good.
And
good
like
words.
I mentioned, Victory's done it before with some of their bikes too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Harley's been around. They're the standard when it comes to American V-twin touring bikes. And so these other companies are trying to catch on and, like you said, steal some business away from them.
And it's fair to say Harley is still outselling Indian like crazy. It just is what it is. They've been in the market a long time. That doesn't mean it's better. It just means that's a fact. That's not a point of argument. It is a fact. And again, and this is why a lot of people on the YouTube, which is funny, I don't care. I'm just bringing up some of these points, especially people that don't watch all my videos. I said this in the last one. I've been more critical of Harley in the past than I've ever been of Indian, mostly because that's all a lot of the time we spend is on Harleys. So I've been more critical. If you really watch the channel, I've been more critical of Harley over time. Yeah. And I'll trash them where they need to be trashed, and I'll praise them where they need to be praised. But a lot of people thought the video, you can tell the people that just come in and just watch the Indian video that, it was biased.
Yeah. They're just being flippant. They just want to say something.
Yeah, exactly. And I know that. So for conversational purposes, I'm bringing it up, but I know it wasn't biased. The reason I say that is if you watch till the end, I actually say, which one would I pick? Right. And I'm going to release that. But I said, that is a badass bike. Mm-hmm. And if I had money and I could have every one of every bike, I would, but I would definitely have that in my garage. There is nothing to complain about that bike. So
it says a lot.
Yeah, I don't.
From a design standpoint and a maintenance standpoint, there's a lot of cool things that Indian did. We've had the opportunity to work on a lot of Harleys in this shop, in the studio, and I hadn't wrenched on an Indian for a while. Last one I think was one of Indian John's bikes, and so to have that one in here and working on it, there's a lot of stuff where it just was put together very well from a form function maintenance standpoint. And I actually had a lot more appreciation for Indian after getting to play with that one.
Yep. Good point. We have had some time, and we mentioned a couple things when we were working on it. So we're going to get into some of my thoughts and pros and cons of what I think and some things you need to consider before you're purchasing. And we're going to rip through this because, man, we've been going here longer than I thought. So, all right. So, the other thing I wanted to say on this is the interesting thing, and this is just an overview of the comments. And again, take them with a grain of salt. It's YouTube, right? It is what it is. But I really, on this video, I saw a lot more Indian people come in that maybe are supporters or own Indians. And again, I love the Indian. I would have one. So, but what I saw, it was kind of interesting as I went through the comments day after day and tried to filter them because they were coming in so fast. I don't know how to explain it, and I don't want this to sound wrong, but these particular comments on this video, there was a lot of people coming in very Indian centric, doing a lot of trash talking. And I didn't necessarily see that from the Harley guys. So it's interesting.
So the Harley guys like, oh yeah, that's a cool bike.
Yeah, they weren't really trash talking.
Right.
It's like, I'll stick with my Harley or, but the Indian guys were getting very defensive about the review and about how cool it is and how much better it is than the Harley, and it's water cooled, and Harley's going to die, and their company's going down.
Oh.
So the interesting thing is, so my point being,
that is strange.
It's almost like, but it's like that. I get it.
You weren't trash talking the Indian.
Is that just an underdog mentality?
There,
exactly what I was just going to say. That was my take on it. Is it's almost like a defense mechanism because
constantly on the defense, trying to explain why they
decided
to buy
Indian instead of Harley,
and they can't keep quiet about it.
Right, and it's fine. That's part of the conversation
because
but that's
interesting.
They weren't arguing with you.
Well, I wasn't even commenting back. I was watching it. Yeah,
I mean, your video was not saying things that made them have to defend it.
No, they just felt like they had to. It's the underdog syndrome
because they always are. Yeah, sounds like.
Wow.
That's my take.
Yeah, me too.
Don't know. But it just seemed like that.
I think that's a reasonable take.
Yeah. So it's almost like they had to, just defend it because they made that choice. And I didn't see that as much coming from the other side. Now, there were some other, Harley guys or like Indian sucks. You get some of that, but overwhelming. Anyways, I thought it was an interesting point. That clearly they are, somewhat of the underdogs. Again, I love them. I would have one. We have members that ride them. We have patron members that show up to. I love the Indians. They both.
It's a pretty damn good bike.
It is, and we'll go through some of those things, some of the better things, I think, as we rip through this and give some of those. But I just wanted to bring up the conversational point of it, or the comments, or the community, and all that. So
they're very sensitive about it.
Mm-hmm. It seemed that way. Wow. It seemed that way. All right, so let's dive into this.
I wonder if the guys that bought the Ford Gremlin felt like that too.
Dude.
Or the AMC Pacer.
Or a Pacer, yeah, maybe.
Huh. Yeah.
Food for thought.
Food for thought. Yep. Very nice. All right, let's do this real quick. Ride longer and treat your ass with some respect already.
Do it.
Get hooked up with a premium butt buffer seat cushion. This company of bikers developed a super thin hospital-grade seat cushion made of solid and elastic materials. And it's unlike gel pads that will leak if punctured. Won't leak. The butt buffer is designed not to slide around in your seat. Fits all motorcycle installs in seconds. Easily cleans and helps to dampen vibrations. With plenty of models to choose from, they assure you'll have a comfortable ass when riding.
Comfortable ass.
Head over to Law Abiding Biker Store and check out our full line of butt buffer seat cushions. A comfortable ass.
I can't wait.
What were we doing last time on the podcast? We were doing something Yeah, what was it? Respect your ass.
It's about time already. What are you waiting for?
Oh, God, we're so immature, aren't we?
It's getting late.
There was something I did on one of the episodes and you busted up, dude. I said it right at the end. Something about, yeah. Oh, my ass. Or something. Yeah, dude. My ass feels so good. All right. So let's dive into some of these and God, we'll just, rip through this. So I'm scrolling down my notes here. So obviously a little bit of background, guys. You've heard it before. I mentioned in the video, I feel like I'm somewhat qualified to test the bike.
I'd agree.
I've ridden road glides. I've ridden street glides. My police bike every day, which is an electric glide with a 107. I think they're all comparable. So both off-duty and off-duty, my street glide special, all that. So I felt like it's a touring bike. It's in the category that I could actually give it a good review. So the base, let's talk about pricing real quick. So here's some of the things to think about because I've heard this, and this is why I did this piece in the video and why we're doing it here. As I was hearing a lot of stuff on YouTube, they're like, "Oh my God!" And the reason I got the Indian is the price point is so much cheaper than a Harley, and you get more. I did my own research, found that not to be true, and I don't know why guys say that. And here, so
they're comparing apples and oranges. They're comparing base bikes versus specials or limiteds, right? I mean, even
maybe not. I don't know.
I wonder because I mean, so the base model of the Challenger is what, $23,000?
Yes.
But if you get into the limited or the dark horse or some of those other ones, then you're up to 28. So now you're talking
5,000 more.
Yeah. So now you're getting up to special, street glide special, road glide special. So
exactly,
it's a bit of apples and oranges.
Correct.
Because you can buy a non-special road glider or street glide and get it down lower.
Exactly. Yeah.
Under 23, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I've got some price points.
So it sounds like it's fairly similar.
Yep.
Similar.
It is.
Well, marketing is going to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Is it what they look like? Meaning, when you look at that base model Challenger, does it feel like it's a little more special than it is?
You asking me?
I'm just throwing it out there because I remember looking at that bike. Squirt's bike is a base model, right?
Yes.
But when you look at it, it's a pretty good looking bike. It doesn't look anything. Well, maybe it's for me. Maybe it's because I don't have anything to compare it to. I'm always looking at the Harleys. I know the difference between a street glide and street glide special. I mean, I can see it. Mm-hmm. Maybe my eye's not trained enough with the Indians to see the difference between the base model and the dark horse or something.
Right.
Maybe.
Right. Yeah. It's a good point. So with that said, I'm going to do a quick breakdown of this for you guys and you'll see what I'm talking about. And I think that a lot of people just didn't do their research. And like you said, didn't understand the separation of models and that you're actually the same depending. So let me rip through this and see if this makes sense. So base model Indian Challenger, which I reviewed, 23,000, 5,000 for the Indian Challenger Limited and Dark Horse, the black, which is the black limited model. So 5,000 more. So you're, but the 28,000, right? But those models are coming with a few extra things, aside from the base model Challenger. So the Limited and the Dark Horse are also coming with baked-in GPS navigation in the Ride Command infotainment system, remote locking saddlebags, TPMS, which is tire pressure management system, I believe, and sensors, Indian Smart Lean technology. Now, Smart Lean technology is Indian's version of the Harley RDRS, which is the Reflex Rider defensive system. Basically, both these systems adjust traction control and ABS systems based on lean angle, making riding safer. Now, that's a very dumbed-down version of what these systems do. I'll tell you guys, if you do want to learn more about RDRS on the Harley and whether you should spend the money on it, I encourage you to check out my video on that. I'll put it in the show notes or just search the YouTube channel. Now, a couple other things worth noting on these rider safety systems. You can't get the Indian Smart Lean technology as a paid option on the base Challenger model. So you have to get the Challenger Limited or Dark Horse to get the Smart Lean technology. However, you can add RDRS to either the Road Glide or the Road Glide Special for $1,000. Now, both Indian models do come standard with 3 ride modes, which the Harley does not have, which are rain, standard, and sport mode. So the Harley Road Glide. So this one, the base model has a price of $21,700 in comparison to the Indian Challenger basic model, which is $23,000. So Harley cost $1,300 less. And for $1,000, you can add Harley RDRS, which still makes it $300 less than the Indian. and you don't have that option with the Indian Challenger base model.
So for $300 less, I can get a Road Glide
special. This is what I couldn't believe when I heard all this. I started doing
Road Glide with the RDS added onto it.
right.
Yeah, not a
It's
Road
still
Glide.
cheaper
yeah,
than
you're
the
right.
base model.
Base model Road
Challenger.
Glide with RDS or anti-lock brakes and all that for $300 less.
Yes. Correct, because you're at 21.7, so you add that 1,000.
I'm not sure what that means, but he
22.7.
said,
Right, yeah.
Well, it's like
I know.
I really like anti-lock brakes and all that shit.
When I started doing this research and I did the numbers for my video, I was like, this is a lie out in the community. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, the Indian's so much better price and you get so much more for it. Bullshit.
Yeah,
It's not. I couldn't believe it because that's the consensus in the community.
For 22.7, you can have a Road Glide. You got the shark nose, and you can have
RDRS.
yeah,
Correct.
and basically they're equal as far as the rest of the stuff.
Right. And we're like, yeah. We're
Yeah,
talking
pretty much.
$300 difference, which isn't so either bike, they're comparable, right?
they are very comparable.
So it's not cheaper. So let's move in further. So now some other things worth noting. The Harley base model Road Glide comes with a 107 CI cubic inch air cooled M8 motor. And if you get the Road Glide Special, you bump up to the Milwaukee 8114, and that bike will cost you $26,700. You can add RDRS for $1,000, making it $27,700. In comparison to the Indian Limited, which costs $300 more, coming out at $28,000 even. So, on the other hand, the base model Indian Challenger and Limited both come with the Power Plus 108 CI water-cooled engine. So, there is no engine bump for moving to a Limited when you're talking about the Indians, guys. Don't worry, we'll talk more about that when we get down to motors in a bit. But the base model Road Glide comes with a 4.3 non-touchscreen boombox infotainment system, while the special model comes standard with a larger boombox GTS touchscreen system, while both models of the Indian come with the 7-inch Ride Command touchscreen infotainment system.
Now that's more than the base model Road Glide.
Say that again?
when it comes to screen size, the base model Indian's got a bigger screen.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, and I did want to note that. So these are the pros and cons.
right.
Yep. The stuff that nobody else discusses. So now we did a video on this channel, on the YouTube channel, guys, showing you how to upgrade your Harley 4.3 boombox to upgrade your older boombox, your 4.3 to the new GTS, but it will cost you about $1,500 if you do it yourself. Mm-hmm. So think about that when you're talking about pricing. If it's something you want to upgrade, that would be a fee that you'd want to do. And I will link to it, of course, in the show notes. Is that clear as mud? Did I say it okay?
They're both very comparable.
Thank you.
The Harley, in all honesty, has a lot more options and much more customizable. If you want to get if you want to upgrade just to the RDRMS,
right,
you can do that. Whereas on the Indian, you can't. So there's a little bit more customization when it comes to the Harley, but really when it comes down to it, very comparable.
Exactly. If you're going to get the special or the limited, or you're going to get the base models, then
you're going to tend to lean one way or the other. So if you're going to go base model, you're probably looking at base models of both Indian and Harley. If you're going to go special or dark horse, you're probably leaning towards that on either one. And when you look at those separate, you're right around 23 for the base models. You're right around 28 for the specials or the dark horse. So they're very comparable.
Yep. That was my findings.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep. Well put. Way to sum that up.
I don't know that I would have known that without having done the research. If you just look at them.
That took me a long time.
Like I mentioned earlier, for me, looking at a base model Indian, I may not be able to completely compare it appropriately to the Harley. But now knowing what you just laid out for us, that they are very comparable.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Mm-hmm. Nicely said. That took me a long time.
Well,
I was shopping bikes.
I appreciate you did that work for us so that we don't have to figure it out.
God.
And the listening audience doesn't need to worry about figuring it out.
My mind was smoking. Trying to have tabs open and comparison models and writing down prices.
Oh, man. The research time?
Yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah.
It took me a long time. So hopefully it's very useful to you out there in the community to get through some of that red tape, so to speak, and you can just get down to what the actual facts are. So, all right. So we're going to talk motors here in a little bit, but I say we do this right here.
Hey, bikeaholics, searching for new and exciting motorcycle products? Zero 3D has the products you dream about for your bike. Check out their wide variety of innovative products for your Harley-Davidson and Honda Goldwing motorcycles. Zero 3D has got your back with chrome and black parts, lighting, and other comfort products. No modifying, cutting, grinding, or welding for an easy installation. That equals that means less time installing and more time riding. Zero 3D has a design team with riders with over 40 years of experience with a passion for design and innovation. Zero Gold Strike are the motorcycle LED lighting innovators for CAN bus plug and play system compatibility. They pride themselves on great customer service. Got a question? Get in touch with them via email at sales@zero3d.com or give them a call at 715-808-0027. Check out your local Harley or Honda dealership and ask for Zero or Gold Strike parts. A new leader has emerged, so check out Zero 3D's custom line of Gold Strike products for the all-new Honda Goldwings. Better yet, help support us and head on over to lawabidingbiker.com/store and check out our full line of Zero 3D products.
Big Daddy Kane and Goat ready to box those up and get them shipped out to you guys. Let's talk about the motors a little bit. Let's dive into that, okay? So,
do it.
I hope we did the pricing okay. All right, that everybody understands that. All right.
I think so.
Okay, good. So Harley Road Glide base model coming with the M8 Milwaukee 8107, air-cooled 85 to 90 horsepower, 111 foot-pounds of torque. Of course, we can talk about how much is actual rear wheel and all. We're not getting that. We're just kind of doing some overall. So take it for what it's worth, okay? We're not going to get super techie here, what's actually delivered to the rear wheel and all that. So Harley Road Glide Special, coming with the Milwaukee 8 114 V-twin, 100 horsepower, 118 foot-pounds of torque. Now, this is where a lot of guys bank it on, which I get it, but the Indian Challenger, base model and limited, both coming with the 108 CI cubic inch V-twin engine, Power Plus, overhead cam, liquid cooled, 122 horsepower, 128 foot-pounds of torque. So that 108 water cooled overhead cam is putting out more than the 114, And I get all that. It's cool. It is an amazing motor. I'm not talking any crap about that motor. But, if you're just looking at that alone, then nothing else matters, right? If you're such a motorhead that
that will matter to some people.
Bit of horsepower.
Yeah, they want the fastest, the most horsepower.
Then just go buy an Indian.
Yeah. If
you don't care about anything else, then that's the bike for you. That's going to be the fastest. It's torquey. It's a fun riding bike, which I'll get into a little bit more as we progress.
It's part of the deal, but comfort, style, functionality is also part of it.
Correct. Yeah. Yep. What you can upgrade, like the the RDRS, and safety, and there's
available parts and accessories.
There's that.
Yep. Yeah. But if you're this guy that wants the biggest, fastest motor, that's the fastest, most horsepower, then you're all in on it, right? So there you go.
Totally understand. Do it.
All right. So here's what I'll say a little bit on power. And I've said this before. And again, a lot of people thought maybe this was a little bit biased, but I will tell you that it's cool. Like, we all want the fastest of everything. We're America, right? I mean, it's overload a little bit. You're talking about a touring bike here, folks. What is this bike made for? So when you bank everything on power and torque, maybe you shouldn't be riding a touring bike, okay? Maybe you should go get a sports bike. Because if you want to go fast and you want to do wheelies and you want super torque and power, then you're in the wrong market. These are touring bikes. Now, I can tell you that, yes, it's nice. The Indian's awesome. It was very powerful. I loved riding it, super torquey. It's fun. It's a smooth motor. I have no complaints about it. But there comes a point of no return, okay? These are touring bikes. I'm telling you that the Harley Tour's fine. It can do all your luggage. You can ride two up on it. You have plenty of passing power, and so does the Indian. So, I get tired a little bit of the bagger market, and this whole power thing. It's like, at some point, people, what are you doing on this?
They're close enough.
Thank you. You're touring. If you have plenty of power and it runs smooth and you can get around
and
cars and trucks
with your wife on the back and all the shit she wants to bring.
Yeah. Now, of course, we like the extra power and it's cool on the Indian, but I just hate it when guys are like, "Oh my God, it has so much more power and it's so much faster." It's like, but it's a touring bike. Let me just remind everybody what this is for. It's cool, So does that make sense? Like,
Yeah,
I think people get caught up with that a little bit too much, that's the only reason to buy the Indian again. And I'm like, that's not the only reason to buy a touring bike.
No, either one of them has enough power in 6th gear to pull a hill.
Correct.
And not have to downshift.
We don't have any problems.
No. I mean, it's not
and
like
mine's a 14 with a 103 and I'm fine.
It's not like my 2008 Street Glide when you guys had these newer bikes with the 103s and I had a 96 and I'm downshifting into 5th gear.
Back in the day, yes.
Yeah, it's nothing like that.
Pegging the throttle to keep up with you guys pulling hills and you guys don't downshift. Both of these bikes have plenty of cruising power, hauling power, passing power.
Yep.
So
I like to put it in perspective.
I think you're right. If horsepower and speed is your number one, you're going to choose the Indian.
Or don't get a touring bike.
Or don't get a touring
bike.
You're
in the wrong market. Go get yourself a nice sports bike.
Some type of hot rod bike and a touring bike. Yeah,
get a bar hopper.
Yeah.
Get a dyno lowrider S with a 110 Screaming Eagle that weighs a little over 400 pounds.
Eliminate the weight and you got all kinds of power.
So it's funny, I hear people, I just watch these arguments on the YouTube comments and I'm like, but you guys, you're forgetting the point of a touring bike. Like, why are we arguing about
They're just looking at specs and not necessarily experience or riding.
Exactly.
And maybe they haven't really put the miles on either one of them and
Likely.
they just going with numbers.
Yep. Likely. So I just want to bring that to people before we start getting all, hotty-toddy on numbers and exactly, but it's awesome. That motor is a great motor and you would love it. So with that said, let's dive into suspension a little bit. Definitely Indian, no doubt about it. Indian, and I'm going to bring this point up too, and this is why people thought I was, can think you're a little bit biased, but Indian has superior suspension. It has inverted front forks. There's no doubt. Everybody will tell you it's definitely better suspension. But my comparison to the Harley, what did I do here? So you can upgrade, I guess, suspension for, your front forks for like $300. I think what I'm referencing is that's what we spent on Oscar's bike to upgrade the front. So, it's not that hard to upgrade suspension a little bit.
So
if you care.
Indian's got a leg up on the suspension, but the Harley you can upgrade at an affordable price.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. And let me just tell you, this is another thing. Again, and a lot of people banked on the Indian suspension. I'm agreeing, people. If you look at specs, and it did ride a little bit better. I took it on a really bumpy road that I do before. I gave it to Indian. It definitely feels better. But with that said, I've ridden my Harley Street Glide Special with stock suspension thousands of miles cross country, and I'm okay. I'm not crippled. My back doesn't. I mean, you see what I'm saying? Like, we can get so down to, yes, it is better, but you have to decide, is that worth it to switch?
What is your priority?
Yeah, I mean,
if you've got special needs, then you need to attend to those. But if you're just talking about a bike based on, the normalcies of everyone.
Right.
Well, yeah.
No, you see what I'm saying? This is where, man, people get too into this. It's like, it does have inverted forks and it's awesome suspension. But again, what are you using this bike for? And I see people riding Harleys all over and with stock suspension, it seems fine.
I've been all over.
We upgrade it
from West Coast to East Coast, New York City to British Columbia
on stock suspension.
Stock.
Yeah. Now,
I'm going to have to trade with Squirt on our next trip just because I got a Road Glide. He's got the Challenger. And I haven't put any real miles on an Indian like you have. So I'm going to have to switch up with him for a few hours and just get on and see how it feels.
Yeah. I encourage you to.
Yeah,
You'll love
idea.
It. It was fun.
Yeah.
It is a fun, different feeling motor, different feeling. It's peppy. It's so fun. I would love to have one in my shop. What I'm all trying to do in this episode is bring everybody to reality, because we get in these bike fights like Ford versus Chevy, and it's
like one's so much more superior than the other.
They're very comparable.
Right. Yeah.
But if you really want to break down specs, Harley does some things better, and Indian definitely does some things better. So let's keep going here. Yeah. Common items, so about 850 pounds wet. Indian is about 20 pounds lighter, so negligible. ABS standard on both 6-gallon tanks. That does, from everybody that's reviewing it, says the Harley gets a bit better gas mileage, about 45 mpg. Plenty of saddlebag storage in both, I found. Infotainment system, guys. Indian definitely, from my point of view, is definitely a simpler UI.
User interface?
User interface, yep. Definitely easier to learn up front.
I've heard that.
Yeah, I agree. It definitely a simpler UI. The boot box is very capable, but I'll say the user friendly the interface up front is not as the user interface up front is not as user friendly. Thank you. Tongue twister there. But the boombox is, like I said, completely capable, and just made that was the kind of a negligible thing. But I did like the ride command. But make no mistake about it. Everybody that, again, a lot of people got on and said, "Oh, the ride command is so perfect compared to the boombox." Wrong answer. In my short time using the ride command, it too had some bugs.
Its own quirks.
It's got quirks. Yeah. So, there's no perfect system, guys. And if you think that it's so much better than the boombox, they both do a lot of the same stuff.
I think they're all learning, and not just them, but the car makers too. I mean, I got a brand new Nissan truck, and it keeps, well, not keeps, but it's had its snags. So, I think they're all doing.
Until Apple makes them, but they're all weird operating systems.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Even with my Apple CarPlay?
Yeah, but they're not making that right.
No,
that's
but
just a
it's
mirror,
still
but yeah.
The Nissan interface with the Apple CarPlay.
Correct. That's
every
the
so often I'm like, what's going on here? I can't even hear my music now.
Yep.
What the hell? you know, and I use Google for navigation through Apple CarPlay. I don't use the Nissan navigation.
No, that's what I use too. We used it in Seattle the other day. Yep.
So it ain't just the bikes. I think they're all learning this. It's all new.
Yep.
That's my opinion.
And they're all different operating systems and, they're glitchy. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. So there you go. The ride command is not perfect. Like I said, I found a few little quirks with it, and glitches in my very short time, even playing with that thing, but I do like it. It is a good user interface. One thing I do want to talk about, and I think I have it down here. Maybe I don't, but I'll just say it. So with the Indian ride command, one of the things is they do have a paid thing. So like on the Challenger, you can't even get GPS navigation on it.
You have to upgrade, have a service.
Well, you do, but there's a caveat to that. You basically the services, but with the Limited and the Dark Horse, you get GPS turn by turn. If you want weather and traffic later, you have to pay a service, but you can still get GPS turn by turn. But with the Challenger, you can't get it.
Can't upgrade. Can't do nothing.
That's what Squirt told me, and that's the way I understand it from my research. So, with the base model, you can't get the integrated GPS. I tried it, and it just tells you to contact Indian, blah blah blah. But what I found with the Limited, you can. There's also a paid service through Indian, but I found out from guys on the YouTube comments. Because I thought you had to pay for GPS and navigation.
Yeah.
You don't. You'll still have that, but you have to pay for if you want weather and traffic and alerts and stuff like that. They have a paid service that will do that. So it's kind of muddy what Indian's done with that, in my opinion. I don't like that.
But through Apple CarPlay, you can do...
Yeah, whatever you want.
You can do whatever you want on
right.
there, so you got navigation.
Right, correct. I'm just talking about
Okay.
I'm talking about the internal.
Native, there's a workaround.
Yeah,
there's a
workaround to the unit.
It's called Apple CarPlay.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. A lot of people still do like the built-in satellite stuff, especially for in areas where there's no cell service.
Yeah.
So that's something to think about if you're in remote areas, but there's I'm not going to go down a rabbit hole on this, but there's other apps, Google Maps, including if you download your maps ahead of time.
Download them.
I know, but a lot of people don't know this.
Okay.
And they don't do it. And then they get in the middle of nowhere and they try to look up on a map and all they get is a blue dot.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
Because a lot of people like that. I agree with you. I was all over the other day. We were traveling all over the west side of Washington State, and I used nothing but Apple Maps and Google Maps on Apple CarPlay on our Yukon because it has that in it, and I'm good with that on that too. And it does have Apple CarPlay. The ride command does not have Android Auto.
It does not.
Does not. At this point, to my research, it does not, and the Boombox has both. Now, the Boombox, when it first came out, did not have Android Auto. I did some videos on it, but they eventually, through a firmware update, allowed Android Auto, so it's got both. Okay. So that is one thing that I'm sure some Android users are pissed off about the ride command.
Yeah, I bet.
Mm-hmm. All right, a lot of information here. All right, windshields. I'll talk about that in a second. In fact, we're going to talk about the windshields, and that can be kind of a fun subject, but let's do this real quick. Are you searching for the easiest and quickest detachable luggage system for your motorcycle?
You know I am.
Rick Rack has just what you're looking for. Forget all those frustrating straps and bungee cords that can come loose and slap your paint.
Slap your paint.
Check out one of Rick Rack's awesome quick attach strapless luggage rack systems. This father-son team designed something really special. You can't find it anywhere else. Guarantee that. Yep, and these guys ride, so they truly understand the needs of bikers. The Rick Rack quick attach system is strong, durable, secure with a lockable system. Also, check out their full line of quality touring bags to accompany your quick detach system. Once you use Rick Rack,
you'll never go back.
What are you waiting for, bikeaholics? Head over to the Law Abiding Biker store. Check out our full line of Rick Rack systems and bags. It's lawabidingbiker.com/store. We'll be rocking our Rick Rack systems to our trip to California here in 2021. And I know we just made a big order of those. We've got them in stock, ready to package, get ready to go out to you guys.
Rick Rack.
I knew something was coming. I saw shoulders shrugging over there. So I figured.
I was taking breaths and letting it out and taking it in.
I got you. I was thinking he's getting ready to say something real wise.
No, just needed a full lungs.
Wise?
Needed full lungs.
So the electronic.
Yeah.
Oh, I took some heat for this. And I'm okay. I say take heat.
Isn't that a cool thing?
I've never rode a bike with it, so I'm curious what your thoughts are on it.
You're going down the road and you can just go, I'm feeling a little buffeting. Just adjust it.
Have you had a bike with it?
Did you not?
No.
Okay. Oh, okay.
John Patton showed me his, and I was like, whoa, dude, that looks so cool.
In theory, it sounds good. It makes sense that you could raise the screen up and have less buffeting. I'm curious, though, Ryan, I know you played with it, so did you?
I play with it every morning.
Did you feel?
And night, most of the time.
Did you?
All by yourself?
Did you notice at highway speeds? Did you notice much difference? What was your experience with them? I'm genuinely.
Is it even
I'm going
worth
to get
having?
some heat for this.
I'm genuinely curious.
People get fucking intense about this, dude.
Yeah,
they do.
Okay,
like I was dumbfounded. So now, when I say I take heat on YouTube. Let me just tell everybody, I don't care. We've been doing this 8.5 years. I just think it's funny. So when I bring it up and say I got a lot of heat, I know it's a good video when people get heated in it. So I'm like, I did a good job. Cool. Even though I didn't mean to.
Back, right?
Yeah, exactly. Whatever. So here's what I say. I said this on the video when people flipped. I said, it's a little bit gimmicky.
Oh, boy. Oh, you spun some people up, I'm sure. Yeah.
I did not know that there are people that bow to the electronic windshield gods. Okay. People think this is like one of Elon Musk's rockets that goes to space.
Oh.
Like they are dire, hardcore electronic windshield dudes. Like it's a cult.
Wow. Didn't know there was such a thing.
I did not either. Be forewarned.
Okay, good to know. Hold on, let me write
I will tell you
my diary real quick.
Yeah.
Now I will tell you why, like I did on my video, why I think it's gimmicky. And people thought I was just trashing Indian. It's cool, I guess. Here's what I'm going to tell you. I had a bike in the past, our old, I didn't ride them full time, but I trained on them. That was our old
FJRs?
Hondas.
Oh, the Hondas had them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Never used it. I just left the windshield at the height that's supposed to be, and I just rode the bike. Okay, and everybody's, you can pull it down when you're in town and get air, and how about you just pop your modular helmet shield and good to go. So it's cool, I guess, but there's some problems with it. So let me say this. The reason I said it's gimmicky to me is I wouldn't use it. Here's what you do. Yeah, go ahead and look at the law-abiding biker video that we made this morning, which will come out.
Yeah.
And you measure and you get the right effing windshield and that is the proper height for you and pops the wind over your head. And then if you're in town and you stop, you just either have a half helmet or you just pop your modular helmet up for a little air.
Yeah.
Honestly, again, you guys that have them and love them, have at it. It's your deal. My issue with them is I'm not going to be going up and down while I'm riding down the road. It's set to a certain height. If you're getting head buffeted, it's because you don't have the right windshield in the first place. You haven't properly got the right windshield to pop the wind over you. So
I can understand though, coming from the factory, it's like, let me fix that right now.
Yeah,
I get that. I can do that on my Goldwing. Mm-hmm. It's not electronically, but I do have an adjustable windshield, and it's set, and I have never changed it.
right. And it's stock.
Yeah, that's
Which is
stock.
where you're staying.
But it's manual.
Which is the other issue.
But I can change it. Mm-hmm. I can move it up and down. Mm-hmm. But it's manual. You know,
Same with my KLR.
There's clamp like levers on each side, and I can move it up and down. But I've never changed it.
Right.
Once I set it, it's done.
And it's stock.
Yeah.
And it will remain stock because of that reason.
Yeah.
That's the issue, is you are taking, and that's one of my issues why I think it's a little bit gimmicky and it limits you on what you can do. The aftermarket windshields for Indian is slim to none.
None.
Because it's a whole mechanism, and they've got it. Number one, it's Indian. There's just not as many aftermarket parts.
True.
You have this whole adjustable system now. So good luck getting an aftermarket windshield and having a good selection of stuff. When our bikes, you can get 1,000 different windshields and heights and colors and tints.
It's all over the place.
And that's my issue. One of my issues with it is now you're, okay, that's cool. You've got it. And if you really like that and you really think that you're going to, okay, come on. You're not going to be going down the freeway and putting that thing up and down. You're either going to be riding on the freeway or you're going to get in town and you remember, oh yeah, I can put my windshield down. Ooh, I got a little extra air. Yay. Woo. Woo.
Yeah, but
look, I sorry. And I know if you guys like them,
I
just
from.
don't, I think
there's other
it's
ways to get air.
overhyped.
There's other ways to get air.
And you're on a motorcycle. I mean, you're riding a touring bike with a damn fairing. I mean, if you want air, go ride the Dyna Lowrider S with no windshield and a half
What can you do
helmet.
on your bike?
I just cracked my shield, or I got a modular helmet. I just lifted
You
up.
can do that. What else?
I don't know. What are you talking about?
You guys got vents in your fairings.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. On my Goldwing, I can open a vent. If I want air, I can open vents.
Yeah.
And I can get air.
I just leave mine open all the time.
Oh, they're open all the time. Okay.
Yeah. I very rarely close them.
Same here. And again, that's like the vent on the Harley.
Well,
I never
you guys
open or
don't-
close that stupid thing. I just leave it open. I mean, again, it's I hope that's making a little bit of sense for you guys out there. If you love it, again, I'm cool with it. Have it. You're going to be stuck with it, and good luck on aftermarket stuff. And
I don't
hope
have strong opinions of it one way or the other, but
I'm only defending
I'm
it
just
'cause-
trying to
saying.
be devil's advocate here.
Exactly.
But, it's like, I could get that. Maybe you don't ever need an aftermarket because of this. Maybe. I don't know. But yet you are limited now. You're stuck.
It seems like something more that can break.
Well, yeah, but like anything,
Well, that's true. That's true.
The more electronics you put, but I get that argument too. But let me just sum it up. I get it. And if you guys, but I can't believe how cultish people are about like that. Like they don't even care about the motor. Like, my God, Indian has a electronic windshield and Harley doesn't. I'm like, oh, okay. I hope
not a deal breaker.
I honestly hope Harley never does that. I'll be pissed off, and you'll get a video about
You'll
it.
be stuck with that one window.
Correct.
One windshield. Yeah.
And I don't want it. And I just want to get the proper windshield for my bike and just be done with it. I don't want it to go up and down. I don't need it. I didn't use it before when I had it on a bike. It's fun. Again, so that's why I use the word gimmicky. If you like it, enjoy it. Put it up and down as much as you can, just for fun, just because you can.
It's like having a sunroof.
Yeah, but people think Harley's so big.
Uses them?
Yeah, right. Yeah, we got it in our Yukon, and
We don't ever open ours.
Thing.
My wife's got one in the Audi. We don't ever open
That's
it.
a great comparison. It's there, and you can say you have
paid a shit ton for it,
Right.
And
There are companies that make an electric windshield for Harley.
Oh my God! See,
really?
Yeah, you can raise it 1.25 inches.
Oh my God, that's the world difference right there.
again, folks, just go to our video, which we're going to put out soon. Measure, get the right height windshield, and ride the frick on.
Yeah.
You don't need to be. But anyways, I know we have Indian people, and if you like it, again, it's just my opinion. Hopefully, it made sense. That's why I use the words gimmicky. It is cool.
It's neat.
It's neat.
But is it necessary?
Is it necessary, and how much? Be honest. I think if you got some guys in here,
real benefit do you get?
If you got some real honest patron members in here that Indians and sat down, even though they love their Indian, say, how much do you actually use that? Because I guarantee if you're riding 4 hours and you're riding on freeway, it's going to stay in one position and it's going to stay there. So come on, people. You're not going up and down with that. Oh, I'm getting a little bit hot going down the freeway. I'm going to lower this 2 inches. So just a perfect air now. Oh my God, I'm so cool now. I feel so, come on.
Really?
This is not going on, people.
No.
So that's why I use the word gimmicky. And I really don't, again, I'm going to move on, but I don't like it because it limits you on all the aftermarket windshields that you're going to have access to.
I think that would be a big drawback. Mm-hmm. Now with my Road King, I haven't changed mine. It works perfect, but I can see where you have a fairing bike and you might even actually change it out a few times. But having the option to be able to do that and not having the option to do that, I think is almost a deal breaker.
Yep, I agree.
Squirt can't change it.
No, he can't. No, you're kind of just stuck with it. Now they're going to make some options, but it's going to be so limited, just because of the mechanisms in there to do all that. But I played with it and I videoed it and I'm like, it's cool. It's fun to watch go in and it's fun to watch go out, but that's about the extent of it. For me, I just was like, all right, I get it. But so
I
watch
got a
out
button
though.
on the Goldwing where I can change my suspension. Okay, that's cool.
Right.
But I don't know if it's really a big deal.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I think that's a bigger deal than a windshield.
Mm-hmm. A suspension,
actually,
yeah, on the fly.
Suspension with just a button up and down. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but still, God Almighty, just ride your bike.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm cool with it if you like it. I thought it was funny how cultish it was, so I had to spend a little time on it. I was like, wow, people, this is like new technology to a lot of people. Like, wow, they're really liking this windshield thing. So if you want electronic windshield, then I guarantee I would go for the Indian, because it has one. All right. So one thing guys talked about, and some guys tried to defend it, with this motor, like I said, it's super fast, man. When second gear, you roll the throttle, it'll darn near bring that front wheel. You feel it come up. You'll see it in my video. It's amazing. It's peppy. God, it was fun. I had a smile ear to ear. I love that bike. I love the motor. It's running smooth. It runs a lot higher, which is fine. It's not a put down. Because it's a different type of motor.
It's happier to higher RPM.
Exactly. It's happier. Very well said. Happier to higher RPM. It feels like it's working harder, which isn't a bad thing. Some people said, it's because it's a better motor. I wasn't putting it down. I just said that's how it feels. I was trying to relay how it feels on that. So now one thing I did notice, and I did it, and some people came back and argued, is there's a much more of a lag in the throttle response. So I was just sitting there, how you can take your throttle and just snap it. It's a horrible lag on the Indian on that motor.
Really?
Much more pronounced than the Harley. A lot worse. And I show it on my video and you'll see it. And it's one thing I noticed right away. I was like,
that noticeable?
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. It was real noticeable.
The throttles look very similar. Mm-hmm. So is it something in the ECM or?
Well, however the motor's set up in the ECM and how it's tuned, and it just isn't there.
Didn't seem quite as responsive.
Not even close.
Wow.
But once you give it a little throttle, just like the Harley, once you give it a little throttle and then you snap it because you've already got juice to it.
Right.
But still, from a idle position to snapping it, it was very remarkable. You'll see in my video. And some people came back and were like, dude, there's 3 different ride modes. And if you change the ride modes, it'll be better. And I go, it was in sport mode, the best mode there is. Thank you. And so I had it in the sport mode, which seemed be the most reactive.
Right. Yeah, you would think.
And it wasn't. So that was one thing, again, in my opinion. Of course, his bike wasn't tuned out at all. It's completely stock. So I'm sure you could fix some of that with an aftermarket EFI tuner and all that. No crash bars stock on the base model.
What?
Yeah.
And it's $400 to add them.
What?
From Indian only.
You're talking about engine guards? Mm-hmm. You're shitting me.
No, on a touring bike, which is weird. And I complained about that on the video. They absolutely should come with them.
So you can, oh my God. Mm-hmm. So just to put foot pegs on, you're going to have to add those.
Foot pegs or crash bars?
Well, I asked you.
I'm talking about the crash bars.
Crash bars.
So if you dump your bike, it protects it. The highway bars.
Yeah.
It doesn't come with those.
Yeah. Well, where are you going to put your foot pegs?
Well, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. You're going to have to get them. They're $400.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Right,
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
It's like you got to get those before you can get foot pegs.
Yeah, and even before foot pegs, you should just have crash bars because
Well, yeah,
you're
I
eventually
agree.
going to slip out and dump
But
your
now,
bike.
just to even have foot pegs, you got to spend more money.
Yep. Right.
Wow.
So that's a drawback, right? So everybody's going to spend $400 if you're smart and get crash bars, which he did right away.
Of course.
Added those. So think about that, about the base model price. Now it's more than a Harley because Harley comes with
Yeah,
them.
that's more. That's $700 difference now with brakes.
Yep,
Without
right.
brakes, you're talking $1,700 more. Yeah,
Yep. So some
just
things
to be more equal.
Right. Just some things to think about. And I just think all baggers should come with those stock. I think that's ridiculous. The Indian didn't put those
agree.
on. Cable clutch, of course, we've talked about a lot. Harley also reverted back to a cable clutch on 2021 models, but Indian's still running old technology too. So I'm not very thrilled with that. Indian should definitely, like Harley, be putting hydraulic clutches on those things. The Indian stock bars suck, but so do the Road Glide stock bars.
Yes.
So you're going to be changing both of them out.
Horrible.
You know that.
Yeah. Especially for me, if a guy that's a decent sized gentleman, it's hard for me to ride with those. They call them buckhorn bars on the Road Glide. They are back and turned in a way.
They're angled.
If
right?
you can see me in the camera, I know you can't hear me on the podcast right now, but it just really pushes my elbows into my ribs and puts me in a really uncomfortable position. First thing I did was get rid of those bars. So neither one of them are great. Honestly, the Indian stock bars might be a little better for me.
They're still fugly.
They're fugly.
And Squirt did not like them.
Yeah, they're not much better. I think they're a little bit better than the Harley ones, but both suck. They both need to go.
Yep.
Yep.
So know that expense right away.
Yep.
Of course, we have a video on how to do your Harleys. And what's that?
For either bike. We've got a video coming out on
Well,
the
we
Indian.
will. Yeah, we don't have it out yet, but yeah.
We'll soon have one
Hopefully.
for either bike.
Yes.
Hopefully.
So you'll be able to get that, and you can do your Harley right now, but we'll be coming out with that video, and definitely. What's up?
No.
Oh, sorry. I thought we had something.
No. I think he's enjoying us going back and forth. I'm like, what do you mean we don't have one? We're going to have one.
Gotcha.
We just need a little bit of footage from a chieftain first to make a complete video.
And the edit.
Yeah, of course.
And you know what that edit is.
That's going to be a monster edit. Yeah.
I am going to drink myself. I'm going to have to drink while I'm doing that one. All the cuts and takes and different. Matt knows what I'm talking about. It's going to be like.
Well, when we work on Harleys, we've done it so much. We've got a beat down, a pattern down, or whatever. And with the Indian, we were learning a few things, and we'd have to retake some shots. And there's going to be a lot of editing in that video.
Basically doubled the load, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
for sure.
And a lot of film to go through.
That's what I'm talking about. Double the load.
Yeah.
You got a lot to scrub through.
It's true.
But
it's true. One of the other things, and it's a nitpick before we do final closing thoughts and all that, guys, here and give our final opinions, is the signal switches.
Which a lot of bikes have them just on that left side. We're kind of spoiled with Harleys.
Goldwing.
A lot of bikes.
Left side.
A lot of bikes just have them on the left side.
It is the one thing I really appreciate about Harley.
I do.
I know it's weird.
It's cognitive or whatever you want to call it. Intuitive.
Yeah, right.
It's intuitive.
To have, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Easier
It's on my
muscle
right
memory.
bar. Left, it's on my left bar. Now, I will say, going back and forth from the Road King to the Goldwing, I get fucked up sometimes. I'm
I can
like,
see
dude,
that.
where's
I can
my
see
damn
that.
signal? Oh, yeah, it's over here.
I can see that.
When I'm riding the KLR,
But when I go
same
back
thing.
to the Road King, I'm fine. It's intuitive. But it's when I ride the Goldwing, I'm like, oh, shit, it's over here. Yeah, I forgot.
Yep,
It's over here on the left bar.
it's very true.
Yep.
And it's one of the few, if the only automobiles, cars, trucks, whatever, that have that. Because if you think about your car has a turn signal lever, and it's always on the left side. Push up, push down. So bikes push left, push right. That Harley's, as far as I know, the only one that has a left and a right signal, but it is very intuitive.
Very.
And you don't have to relearn when you get on the Harley. It's everything else you have to relearn.
Right.
I do appreciate it. And
I do. It's funny.
yeah.
It's a little thing, but
It is little,
Coming from
and
Harley,
it's
like,
not a
that's
deal breaker.
damn nice deal.
But it is nice.
Sure is. Yeah.
Sure is.
It's not gimmicky. That's for sure. It actually works, and you use it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's very natural.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting, because you're right. Yeah, like you say, Gold Wing and my KLR, I get on it, same thing, and I'm like, son of a, I mess up signals because I'm back to just the one side, and then I go back to Harley. It's funny. It's funny. I know it seems like a little thing, but it's something I do, and I'm glad you guys said it, that I really appreciate about Harley. I wish they would go to the Indian too, on both sides. So, all right, now let's wrap this up and do some final thoughts here and some things to think about. I just want to say again, that Harley or that Indian Challenger motor is badass.
It is, huh?
It is peppy. It's spunky. Yeah. I mean, I just love going up the canyon. I was just rocking the throttle, and that suspension just comes up, and if you clutch a little bit, you can get the wheel off the ground easily. No, but if you're just doing throttle, it gets so light that it damn near comes off. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you and I went somewhere, and I was on my bike, and you were on that one, heading out here, made lunch or something. Mm-hmm. And I look over, and he's damn near got the front. He's screwing around, just goosing it, and then throwing a little clutch in there.
You
can
just see those forks.
Oh yeah, he's damn near pulling the tire off the front ground, or the front tire off the ground.
Wow, that's peppy.
Oh yeah,
it is. It's an amazing motor. You would be totally satisfied with it. It's smooth.
Sounds good.
It sounds good. Like, I don't have anything bad to say about it, guys. As far as that goes, it's fun. I would love to have one. But let's go through some of my closing and final thoughts, knowing that these bikes are priced very close to each other. That's not an argument anymore now that I broke that down. So you ask, whether the title of the video was, am I switching to Indian? Okay. And here's the deal. I like Harley. I'm not switching. I think Indian's a contender. If I had money, I'd buy both and I'd ride them back and forth. I would have rode the Indian to lunch today just for fun. But because I have to stick to one or the other on that right now, definitely Harley. And let me explain for these reasons. All right. One of the main reasons we've touched a little bit on it is aftermarket parts, and we touched on it with windshields. Harley, you can do absolutely anything to your bike, from 50 different companies, windshield companies and peg companies and motor components and EFI tuners.
Throughout the bike. Throughout the bike.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, definitely. There is, it's unbelievable at your fingertips, everything. So if part of the experience and the motorcycle community and the lifestyle is customizing your bike. And that's part of it to me with Harley, is you can do anything. Indian right now, and I think it's going to stay that way for a while, is very limited. There's just not the money in it. There's not enough money in it for aftermarket companies to produce a bunch of stuff for Indians, just because you just don't see as many of them on the road. Hardly.
And I believe it probably never will be on par with Harley. I mean, Goldwing is not even on par with Harley, and they've been around for decades.
Mm-hmm. But they still, but at least
they got a ton of aftermarket, but it ain't nothing like Harley.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing like it.
Yep.
No.
Yep. So that's one of my biggest deals, is that. And Indian right now, if you want aftermarket like crash bars and things, it's all through Indian. They own it. You're buying Indian stamp stuff. It's super expensive. All of their stage 1 kits and all that, all Indian stuff. Nobody's really making great aftermarket. So I hope for Indian owners that is better in the future. And then you get some guys, well, the Indian's perfect as it is. No, it's not. Okay. We did the throttle response. You would definitely want an EFI tuner. They finally cracked the ECM.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, that's what Squirt said, but it's super expensive. You got to take your ECM out, ship it to a company.
Okay.
They got to do it, ship your ECM back. So it's just not like Harley, where you can put on FP3s and all this stuff. Something to be aware of. It's one of the downfalls for me on why I would not switch to Indian, me personally, although I love them. All right. Again, I try to tell people that as much as possible. I love them, so I don't get accused of being biased. All right. And that's, like I say, why a lot of people buy Harley. It's part of the whole lifestyle, the experience. EFI tuners are readily available. One thing to note on Indian that we learned is it's a fake air cleaner cover. on the right side, that's not actually, the air box is under the tank like it was on the Victories. That was one of the things with the Victories is the air tanks, the air intake, it's all underneath. So they put a cover on the side. That's just fake for look. So you think it has an air cleaner. So that's going to very much limit you on stage one air intakes and the look and and they're going to make them, but they're all still going to be fake. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, so to me, that's taking away from what I love about the Harley and being able to put all these stage one intakes and all the different, you know what I'm talking about, all the different intakes, air intakes and all that. So that, and then on the left side, it's also a fake cover, and it's really just covering your water lines, there's a main hub where all your water lines come in, and it's really just covering that and protecting that.
It mirrors what's on the other side, on the air side.
Well said.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that. So that's your options are just limited. Fake covers.
And they cover everything up, and they have plastic covers over everything.
Yes.
There's not a whole, I mean, here's a picture of it so you can see, Russell.
Yeah.
They got these plastic covers that just cover voids. So there's not a lot of
I see that
void around the motor. So there's a picture of the Harley, and then I've got my Road Glide as my screensaver. And you look at the Road Glide, you can see the motor looks very mechanical.
Right.
And you can actually see daylight through it.
Yeah.
It just it seems much more raw. It looks like a motorcycle, has a lot more style. The Indian, the way they've designed it, kind of looks a little more like a snowmobile, the way with all the plastic covers and whatnot.
More like a Goldwing.
To me, it looks like a sports bike. It's true.
Yeah, okay, that's
perfectly true.
Because the Goldwing sports bikes, they enclose everything.
And I'm sure there's a reason for it. Maybe it's more streamlined or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, it's the way they're trying to make it look.
Yeah. It'll keep the heat off of you too.
And that's another argument, but that's an interesting argument that I didn't find with the Challenger ever. But yeah, I don't know if that's completely true.
It's not going to be so much.
Complete motor's exposed, so I don't know that that's true. In my opinion. And so, I'm showing the audience, I'm scrolling through this, but yeah, if you look at the back here, one of the things I really like about Harley and why I like it is because it's very open. It's very mechanical. Mm-hmm. I can see the top of the transmission. I can see the transmission cover. You can see part of the belts.
You can dig into it.
Yeah. And even aside from that, just from a look standpoint, right? We can see it. It's mechanical.
Right.
Everything here is hidden like a sports bike. Like we're hiding a lot of the components, which to me, again, that's not a put down. You may like that.
Mm-hmm.
And if
that may be a plus for some people.
That may be a plus for some people. But I like to see all the components, and I'm very mechanical that way. And I think it's what makes a Harley very beautiful is to be able to see all that exposed.
Well, you can sit there and have a beer and look at it, and you can understand it.
Right.
Like my Goldwing, I look at that, I'm like, well, I see the heads.
Exactly.
Because, it's an opposing six, but everything else is hidden.
Right.
Right. Although I did find I have a big-ass alternator in there.
Yeah?
Yeah. Looks like a car alternator.
Yeah, I bet on that bike. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Anyway, sorry to sidetrack.
No, it's not sidetrack. So going back to that, that's one of my complaints as we're finishing up here and going through the pros and cons is if you want all that covered and you like the sleek look of a sports bike more-esque or a Goldwing, then definitely this is the bike for you. But that's one of the big reasons I wouldn't get it is they've really hidden everything from view, and all you can see really is the jugs. And again, a lot of the stuff's fake, like the air cleaner and all that kind of stuff. So it's more modern. The other big thing while we're looking at this, and I'll actually show you guys the screen here for those patron members watching this, is this is something I get it. Water cooled is cool.
Can you pick a different colored bike? It's hard to see it.
It's really hard to see.
Oh, well, I can if you think it's really, it's just your guys' screen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It actually shows up well on a computer.
Okay.
I would if it was worth the time.
Sure.
Go on.
So visually, I just don't like, water cooled is cool. I get it. I get the mechanical benefits of a water cooled motor. I don't care. I am not fond of radiators, big, huge car radiators on bikes. I just
it's aesthetics.
Don't like it. The Harley air-cooled has been running for many, many years. It runs great. Yes, you're going to get more life out of your motor with an air cleaner and all that. Nobody keeps their Harleys, hardly anybody, for that long, okay? They're selling them so stop. That, if you like that or you're okay with it, then go for it. To me, I think that is the ugliest thing. I've said it on many podcasts in the past. Again, it covers a lot of the mechanical components. It's just like, oh yeah, let's just get a car radiator and slap it on the front because we got a water-cooled this motor. Now, I like how Harley, some of their water-cooled bikes, they're hiding it in you know what I mean? Like, let's just not use the car industry for an example for a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Now, my KLR does it too, but it's smaller. But so I get it. It's not like Indian's the only one doing this. That's something, maybe I'm old school.
Well, I like the way the Goldwing does it. You don't know they're there.
Right.
They're in the fairing.
Right. So they've done a better job, even though the rest of it's not mechanical.
They're behind the front forks,
Right.
In plain sight. Unless you're looking for them, you don't even see them. But I agree with you. Every bike I've seen with those sitting in front of the frame, behind the front forks, I'm like, that is ugly.
Yeah. It's very functional.
It's ugly. Oh, sure.
No question about that. So, and again, that's just a personal preference. But if you're all about the power and the torque and you want the more sports bike, then you probably don't care about the big radiator up there. But, so that's that's why I'm still a fan of Harleys, because it's air cooled and I get to see everything and I don't have to deal with that up there.
Those lights on that shark nose looks like a Ford F-150 or no, an F-250. Doesn't it?
On the Indian here?
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look like the newer Ford trucks, don't they?
Yeah, it kind of does.
Yeah.
Similar. All right, so let's, as we're moving on here, so that's personal preference. Do you agree? What do you think on the radiator?
Yeah,
do you like the radiator or do you just hate it? I understand its purpose.
I don't like the look of it. I think it's cleaner not to have it. But if you're going to have a bike that's water cooled and have a V-twin with the motor exposed, that's the only place you're going to put it. So, like Russell was talking about with the Honda, it's behind the fairing, but it's got there's not a whole lot of the motor exposed on a Honda. It's got the full side, God, not even fairing.
Well, yeah, it's not the fairing like on a Harley, but it's sort of part of
it. Yeah, the side. It's more of a side piece.
Yeah,
covering the motor. So if you're going to move them, a lot of sport bikes. I mean, my Honda VFR had them up in that same area. They were behind the fairing, behind the plastics on the side, and you didn't see much of them. But when you go with a V-twin bike with exposed motor, it's pretty hard to hide them. So it's either right there in front, or it's got to be in lowers like some of the Harleys do.
How about that one?
No. Well, yeah, those are the newer Hondas, but like mine's a 16 model. It looks more, some of these get gaudy because these guys really bling.
Yeah.
They really bling. They really bling
on
out these Hondas. But
oh, they do. Honda guys are crazy cultish. Yeah. The Gold Wingers. Oh yeah, it's awesome.
They'll bling them like crazy.
Just like the Harley guys.
I would say they think the same about Harley guys.
Oh yeah, no, they do. It's awesome. That's why I love the Gold Wingers, man. Yeah. Anyways, if we can't find it, it's not a big deal. They hide the radiator, right?
Yeah.
That's the main point.
They streamline it pretty good.
They streamline it. So, all right. So let's finish it up here because we are going long. The other big thing to me is dealership support. And Indian, Harley, you can go across the U.S. at least, and you've got dealerships network everywhere. You're going to be within a certain range. Indian, not the way it's going to be. You're very limited. We don't even have an Indian dealership around here.
No?
Nope. So I don't know where there's the closest one on the west side.
I'm looking right now.
Yeah. So you're going to be very limited on that. And, a lot of guys go, that's because Indian doesn't need them. They run so good. Okay, stop. Okay. Bullshit. Everybody breaks down or you need to get a flat tire.
You don't know where you're going to break down.
Stop, people. Okay.
Well, tires you can get done anywhere, but...
Sometimes, depending if they have them in stock and things like that.
Oh, that's true.
Auburn, Pasco, and Vancouver.
Okay.
Bremerton.
There you
Glenwood. So, nothing terribly close.
Terribly close.
Wow.
So that's very spread out. So be aware of that as the dealership support and network. And yeah, we talked about covering components, transmission. Yeah, I really like, again, the motor on the Harley and the push rods on the outside. I just think it's really cool looking and mechanical and that kind of stuff. So that's kind of some of my opinions. Now I can honestly say, and I said this up front, that you would not be disappointed if you purchased either of these bikes, a Road Glide or an Indian. You're going to be happy with both. The technology in both of them is awesome. It's great. It's up to speed. I would like to have an Indian Challenger and one of every type of motorcycle if money were not an issue. As long as you're having fun and your knees are in the breeze, that's all that matters, guys. Remember that. And it's something you're happy with and it meets the needs that you have and your style and your passion. I'll ride with you all day. I don't care what you're riding. I love the Indian. I think it's a competitor. And with that said, let me say this, that the main reason that I like the Indian Challenger in the market, and I'm glad, that's another thing, Polaris, a big company. It's not the only thing they do. Where Harley, that's a lot of what they do. So you have to take that into account. They're making snowmobiles and side-by-sides and all kinds of other shit. So how focused are they on the Indian? But I like competition in the market. Harley absolutely does a lot of bad things that piss me off. And I love competition in the market. And that's what Indian is bringing to it, the Challenger, which puts Harley on notice, which that's when companies step back and start doing shit right or doing stuff better.
Keep them on their toes.
Got to keep them on their toes. And for years, there's just really not been a great competitor. Victory was there.
They tried, didn't quite get there.
No.
Had a run at it. I wish another company would come out. The more companies that come out, the better for us, because it's going to push the boundaries of the industry, and that's when they move forward fastest.
Yep.
Whew.
Look at the automotive world.
What's that?
Look at the automotive world.
Exactly. Yep. That's a good...
if we could get to that level in the bikes.
No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah.
So I'm rooting for Indian. And there may be a day where I say I'll switch. But right now it's just not there yet for me. But I know a lot of you out there ride Indians, and that's awesome. So any final thoughts on that subject matter as we went very long here?
I have more appreciation for the Indian now that I had the chance to work on one. And I look forward to getting on Squirts, maybe trading for a little while and riding. I think in the end, my thoughts and feelings are going to be similar to yours. I don't think I would switch. But I have a lot more appreciation for it, and I am also glad it's in the market, making Harley step up their game.
Yeah.
Well said. And Lurch, when you get on that Indian, you feel that motor, you're going to love it.
Yeah.
It's fun. You're going to have a smile ear. You're going to be like, oh shit, that's badass. Yeah. Because it's definitely more powerful than our bikes. There's no doubt about it.
John said the same thing with his.
It is.
But with that, the first one he had, that 111, so that really ripped too.
Yep. Oh yeah, the Thunderstroke, the 111 Thunderstroke. Yeah. No doubt about it. Just keep it in perspective, guys, on what a touring bike is doing and what it's for and all that kind of guys. Don't just bank on that. So we love our patron members. We want to get to know you better in the private Facebook group. But hey, for whatever reason, you want to support us through a flat donation, that's the way you want to do it right now. Well, of course, we never balk. At a flat donation, Guy Costa, Shane Gibson of Mountain View, California, and Corey Kaiser of Mercersburg, Pennsylvania. lawabidingbiker.com/donate. And it helps put a little fuel in the Law Abiding Biker gas tank so we can keep this thing
running on down the road.
Yeah, brother.
Whew. That was a long 2 episodes, guys. That one went way longer. I think I looked at the thing and it was like 40 minutes and we were just getting started on our subject.
We had a lot of discussion about Scotch and
God, we had a lot of fun.
In Scotland and
Yeah, we did.
Square foot in Scotland.
Lord Roberts over here.
Oh my Lord. Bow to
Lordship.
I thought we were done.
Bow to the Lord Roberts. Bow to the Lord Roberts.
Yeah.
What else we got here, Lurchy? Oh, I forgot to mention this up front. I meant to and I forgot it. So don't forget, guys, did I mention the shop pay installments? Never mind. Don't forget we got shop pay installments. I couldn't remember which episode that was.
You did them both.
All right, nice, guys. And we got a lot of opportunities for you guys, of course, to support us financially so we can continue our mission here. But hey, I get it. Everybody's in a different situation. If you can't do it financially right now, that's fine. There are ways you could support us completely free. And one of those is to rate us, guys. Number one, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just hit that subscribe button. Bump us up in the rankings so more bikers around the world can find us. Same with the whatever podcast app you're listening on, especially if you're listening on iTunes or Stitcher Radio. Head in there and give us a 5-star review. That's right. Try for a 6 if they have that option, but I think most of them just have 5, so definitely give us a 5. And we appreciate that, guys. That helps bump us up in the rankings, too, so more bikers around the world can find us and join this thing we call the hashtag
Biker
Revolution. We out of here.